Hi, Anjali. Thank you, Mansi. And yeah, glad you hear me. So I'll first thank Mansi of Kitab Khana and her team, and of course our very inspiring Ashwini ji, who have got this enterprise together. And it's under very strange circumstances that my academic path meets poetry, because I was a student of microbiology and I've been guilty about leaving the pursuit of it. But here comes a microbe and who connects. I can see friends in Himachal, I can see my family in Kolkata, and I can see our Bombay poets here together under strange circumstances. Without losing time, I will start this poem which is dedicated to a friend who's now a friend, and I don't know if it's healing, but this is a poem which tells us that to move beyond dark times, to move beyond when there's no hope. He sees more than me, who I have eyes. He's not sighted, he's a blind person and sees better. Let's see. It's called I Run Into Chairs. I see darkness, I see anger flicker. I see Cohen, I see the South Pole. Penguins, whales bleeding, baby whales singing sharper than the wails of a foghorn. I see the mist lift. I see the clamor for pockets of noise found by the roadside in Brooklyn, Bombay, and the Corona. I see love letters on the sand, spell-checked messages in a bottle. I smell vision stopped only by sight. I have grown wings. I sit by the window watching geese and larkspur. I haven't told my parents I see so much. They laugh at the daydreams of their son. I have gone blind with the sugar in my blood and bloodline. They know nothing about my slide into blindness. One Monday I woke up to darkness, rubbed my eyes to see light. I could tell Ma was baking and headed for the kitchen, ran into a cupboard, spoke to a chair, and attempted paper boats on an unfamiliar stream of salt. But all of this was yesterday. The boats are now safe by the shore. I see, I saw, I am free, I am blind. The rivers have run dry, and I don't cry anymore. Thank you. And hi Divyanshu, if you're listening, perhaps not watching. The second poem is from Apostrophe, and here again I found strength from a source always, which is my mother-in-law. We lost her about a year back, and she with her Alzheimer's at times was stronger than me. This is dedicated to my mother-in-law. Flowers that you wore. She sat next to me, a few light years away, close to a certain Alzheimer, spoke of pines in Kumaon and a certain reckless December. Intense she pecked on morsels of memories which fed her, led her to an unwritten diary from thickets of her history. She walked up to the mirror. She walked back to me. She walked up to the bed. She walked back to me. She walked towards trains of Tagore and stood by the green slats of the window, cupped her hands to hold August in her palm, moist and maverick. There was not a moment she lost, only time, clogged up time that she didn't care for. She chuckled, called me to come close. I walked unsure. She looked at me, my forehead, my hair, now a shade of slate where grays sketched encrypted graffiti. She teased a bit of my strands, patted some raindrops on my hair, and then with a whisper she banished those light years away. Don't hide them. Those are tendrils of flowers that you wore yesterday. Thank you. I have been called it's a heavy cross to bear. A lot of my friends call me Micro Polo with all my traveling. So Micro Polo is locked in the house. And as I can see Anjali who says, Ki, when is your next trip to the Dongar, which in Marathi means the mountains. So I'm home, but I carry the mountains in my book, in my memories. I'm reading next a poem titled Politics of Laughter. Memories are the strongest part of mountains. Rocks are gentle. They hold very little. Crevices often overlooked don't speak of flaws. They cave along fault lines. Magma quiet inside, turbulent. The winds whistle as waters laugh and go with gravity, with compelling cheer, and fallen rocks in their folds. Rocks give in, but never give up. What remains is subterranean. The laughter stops, the continuum conscious, unforgiving. Memories remain the strongest part of mountains. This one. I remember Mustansir Dalvi on Twitter put up a poll. I see a lot of reporting is happening about who's scoring with their gifting and whatever they are in their means, who can help, what are the medicines, where are we going to look for means of earnings. And what Mustansir's poll did to me was he asked, what do you think will be the busiest after this? The divorce lawyers, the Nai, or I forget another one. So here is a poem called The Cat. And the cat is watching this couple who are locked up in their home, and let's see what the cat has to say. The cat stopped outside the bedroom door, purred next to the broken lamp on the floor, tugged by her feline imagination. Pranced on beams of light, stamped the penumbra with her left paw, suspicious of the shattered china and sparks of misplaced awe. The cracks in the shade threw more light on the night that had claimed 5 dinner plates, all Calvin Klein, 3.5 soup bowls, my favorite glass of wine, and his spine. Nights came, days left, scars came, cars left, feelings left, mornings came. The cat now stopped at nothing, she purred at nothing, pranced on nothing. The cat has left us. The spineless smirked the other day, cats don't care. For a moment, I stopped by the bedroom door and then I left. How much time do I have, Mansi? This is a short one. I remember asking a young colleague the other day, yes, cats don't care. I'll let the poem talk. It's called Tandem Footsteps. During the descent, our shadows touched. On our ascent, footsteps grew distant to be our today, yet in tandem. Heartbeats out of rhythm, ragged like mountain spires. You spoke too little. I didn't speak at all. We were coming to terms with a day that refused to break, but the sun had already risen. Only our shadows proved the light. Mansi says I have 5 minutes. Okay, so I saw her mail to Ashwini ji on the 25th of March, to which Ashwini had written to me, where she said last month, which she writes in March and February, about questioning of nationality which was going on, and now it's questioning of humanity. So here is a poem called Shameless. Shameless is making love to the other. Let's see how it, in my words then, this was 2017, how 2016. Let's see if this lovemaking resonates today with this otherness having entered our lives in so many forms. Shameless. Salt on your forehead, grey storm in your iris, passions collide against the cracks in our destiny. Wind chimes entwine shameless, their echo remains as the encore. The notes linger as I scribble on your back, gibberish in italics before the font changes to bold. You walk away abrupt, edging past swords, battles with a silent war cry, and walk towards an imaginary door. Lock your eyes with them before turning back to let me make love first to your scars. Otherness, indeed, Sukrita ma'am. So I'll just last two poems. Here is one which is, thank you, Anjali. I shall, I think, take a breather with an easier one. I'm reading an excerpt of it called Scotch Tape. The poem is titled Scotch Tape. And so much I see this could be happening. She waits by the belt conveyor, waiting for the oven to show up, bubble wrapped, sleeping in a carton, safely strapped, marked fragile. If only love stories were ovens that came with a monsoon sail with an umbrella free, delivered at the doorstep and a sticker showing a wine glass, one immaculate red heart with an address, name of a sender, a recipient in a bold red marker, half a ream of brown Scotch tape holding relationships together. And one more poem. This is one of the 5 poems that came out in this. Thank you, Sudeep Sen and Sahitya Academy. This is a short one. It's called The Earth Ate Me. The earth cracked and ate me with pickles, lime and raw mango, made me sweat, pelted lava, belted stories of how we dared her. The earth is no fish, she won't drink tears, she's hungry, menstrual, lavish, with a desire to mate with Mars. Wait, don't look, she's changing. Thank you. Thank you, Ashwini ji. Thank you all for being here. It's so wonderful to see you all. And I see so many friends, family, colleagues. How wonderful. Thank you, Ashwini ji. And I think Sarbjeet ji is up next. Oh, how wonderful. I feel my immunity going up. Oh, we have someone from Lyon in France. Hello. Thank you. And Mansi, is there more time or what? I see my sister-in-law. Wow. And I see a friend from Pakistan. Thank you. Thank you, Arjun. Okay, Mansi says yes. And this is from Ritunjay ji. He mentioned about borders. I just thought everyone who knows me and has heard me has probably seen my film on it. And I keep talking about it. I don't want to repeat, but here's a short one called Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Abbreviated silence in that noise between the unheard and unknown. The unspoken hovers on the edge of sanction and taboo. The undefined is a silent lover. Full-bodied intimacy of the spirit brews a fermented silence of thought.